Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you to talk about your significant other. And as a woman entrepreneur, there is probably no one else in your life that is as significant as your significant other. I'd love to support you in how you can communicate for more effectiveness, how you can receive support as a woman entrepreneur, how to ask for what it is that you really need in your relationship and what will support you. And also, it's important for you to think about what it is that you need to do. How do you need to show up in the relationship, and how do you need to contribute? So when you are in a relationship with a partner, whether that's your husband or what have you, then you need to learn effective communication styles, as we've just talked about, but you also need to understand the energy of the masculine and the feminine. What I have found for a lot of women entrepreneurs is when they're in a relationship with someone and they're on this journey of entrepreneurship, which is pretty much the same thing as being on the fastest track of personal development, there tends to be this desire to want to have your significant other be at the same level that you are. If you're reading books on wealth consciousness, for example, or personal development books, and your partner is not really interested, it is not your job to make them want to read them. It is not your job to give them an ultimatum to say, if you're not doing this, or if you're not doing that, or if you're not having a coach, then this isn't going to work for me, and so on and so on. You need to leave them to their own soul path. Now, certainly, if you get to a point in the relationship where there is not so great things happening, like verbal abuse or physical abuse, that's not what I'm talking about here. But you do need to give this an opportunity to work. If you're having a challenge in your relationship and it doesn't include verbal or physical abuse, then I would invite you to sit down and have a conscious conversation with your significant other. And I want to set you up for success in having these kinds of conversations. So I will tell you how it is that men operate. Men are wired to provide and to protect. And so if you can start seeing through that lens, a lot of the things that your husband or significant other does for you, you will begin to really see as a gift. One of the examples that I've used in the past is if you're walking down the street and your significant other grabs you and says, "Oh, wait, honey, a car is coming." You might be like, "I can see the car coming. What are you talking about?" But if you see that through the lens of they're wanting to protect you and provide safety for you, then you can go, "Oh, how sweet is that?" And allow that chivalrous behavior to be a part of your life. There is nothing more beautiful that puts you into your feminine than to allow the masculine to show up in your life. Allowing the energy of the protecting and the providing to show up for you. Oftentimes, as a woman entrepreneur, we can see this in our business where we need to take our business to the next level, or we need to take a particular action in our business, or we need to make a large lump sum investment in our business. And if you haven't properly come to a full-on decision, remember that an empowered woman entrepreneur is going to make her own decisions. She's not going to be in a place of codependency. She's not going to be looking for approval from her partner. She is going to come to a conclusion on her own as to what it is in her business that is the next right step for her. And then you get to enter into a conversation with your significant other where you're sharing the decision you made versus engaging him into a conversation of needing to come to a decision together. There is an absolute difference. And if you really want to be in your power as a female entrepreneur, then you will want to sit with yourself and sit with God and ask for guidance and get clear on what the decision is. It doesn't mean that your partner isn't going to have input to give you or contribution to make. Again, he's going to provide his thoughts. A man wants to be acknowledged for his thoughts and his productivity. So if you can acknowledge those things and express appreciation, you will be speaking in currency to fill your man up. A woman wants to be acknowledged for her emotions and what she's maybe going through. So when you know these foundational principles of how the masculine and the feminine operate, it allows you to know more not only about yourself, but also about your man. So getting to a decision in your business about whatever it is that you need, or even in your personal life, maybe you need better boundaries, or maybe you need people to honor the fact that your office hours are such when you are working from home, and have those boundaries be honored and speak up for them. Whatever the decision is that you've made, the way that you'll want to enter into a conversation with your significant other is to ask and to allow that autonomy, allow the willingness. The feminine in her power invites. So you would say, listen, honey, I really want to have a conversation with you around something in my business, or something in, a decision that I've made, whatever you find the words for you. And I'm wondering when you would be willing to sit down with me to have this conversation. A woman that is in her disempowerment is going to be having urgency, and she's going to feel anxiousness, and she's going to be like, okay, oh my God, I don't know what he's going to say, so we need to hop into a conversation right now so that I can get out of this anxiety. That's not where your power lies. So if thoughts of fear and anxiety come up for you, then it is time for you to go sit and get quiet with yourself and get yourself to a place of feminine maturity, so that you're entering into the conversation with your significant other that will lead to an outcome that everyone is desiring. The other thing that you can do is sit and visualize. How would you have that conversation go? What would it look like when you're completed in that conversation? Are you embracing one another? Are you giving each other a kiss and a hug? And you will set yourself up for success by doing those two things. Once your significant other has gotten back to you about when would be a good time, and you do in fact sit down, that's when you would want to set the conversation up for success by saying, listen, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. So you're expressing appreciation for anything, for taking the time to sit down with me, whatever it is that you want to express appreciation for. Women do not express appreciation enough to their significant other. And if you are doing that on a daily basis, not from a place of needing to fill him up if he is needy and making him feel good, from a true, genuine place of being in your power and really feeling a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for something that your man has done for you, and even attaching it to, that made me feel blank, or it was meaningful to me because. So once you do that, then you're going to move in setting the tone. And that looks like, you know what, I have something so exciting to share with you, or I have a big decision that I need to make, or a big decision that I have come to. Whatever the words are for you, you're going to come into the conversation and say you want to have dialogue during the conversation, or that you want to just speak and share from your heart what's going on for you, and then hear from him and get his input or his feedback. That will set you both up for success, because otherwise you might be thinking in your mind, oh my God, why does he keep interrupting me? This is so frustrating. And you really want to set yourself up for massive success. So those are the tools that you can use to be in really great conscious conversation, not only with yourself, and begin to visualize the outcome that you desire in the conversation that you're having with your significant other, to receive the maximum amount of support that you're desiring in your life and in your business, and being able to communicate and know yourself so well that you can articulate what support looks like for you for each step of the journey, whether you're going through a personal situation or you have a big business project and it's going to take a lot of energy, and this is what you're asking for your significant other to do during that time, for help with your children if you have a family. All of these things will set you up for success. And the one thing that I will come back to reminding you is that what you do as you grow as an entrepreneur is you stay in this communication and you detach from their personal path and their personal journey. If you are attached to, I'm so much further ahead on the personal growth journey and my husband's back here and he just doesn't get it, that is not, you are not to drag that person along. You are not to have them ride on your coattails. You are not to feed them the information that you are indeed embodying. You can share it with them, but they have to have a willingness and a desire to learn from it. My number one coaching rule is that your desire for your transformation has to be greater than or equal to mine. And that holds true for the relationship with your significant other. They have to have the desire for wanting to retire, for example. If you're a woman entrepreneur and you're like, I want to retire my husband, it's like, does your husband even want to be retired? Ask. And if you have a desire for wanting him to have a deep passion for personal development and having a better wealth consciousness, but he doesn't, you cannot force someone to be where they are not. Now, what I will say is that if that isn't happening and you have gotten to a place where it is just not a fit for you anymore and you are in a place of betraying yourself by staying in the relationship, then that's for you to decide. And that is for you to come into a conscious conversation with your significant other and make a decision together. Or if you've made a decision on your own about this is not of service to me to stay in the relationship, I've learned all I can from you. But in those relationships, they are a great place of learning, and you will know when the time is right to grow together some more or to part ways. But the most important thing in every relationship is for you to be true to yourself, because your relationship with yourself is a very important relationship indeed. And if you are betraying yourself, then you will be of no service to anyone, not in your marriage or otherwise. So I equip you with all of these tools so that you can continue going on in the most powerful way in your relationship with the person you care most about, and having them understand what it is like to be a woman entrepreneur as you grow on the journey to more and more success, both in your business and in your relationship with your love.